All right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Sunday. It's time for our day after thoughts from Tennessee versus ETSU. We will be breaking down the whole first quarter of that game. We're not going to give y'all any grades because it is ETSU. There's no point in really grading anybody. And we'll also start to talk some about Georgia. Obviously, man, P and I growing up in the state of Georgia as Tennessee fans, we can't stand them, but we want for y'all to understand, man, we can put that to the side and give y'all like real, true breakdowns on how we see this game playing out. We're not really homers. I know that some people might think that, yeah, like we want Tennessee to win every game. We're going to talk about how we think Tennessee can win every game, but we're not just going to be making stuff up. Everything that we do and say is coming from a factual place. So we want for y'all to understand that. And y'all going to get a whole lot of information because this is the biggest week really of the whole year for us, Pete. So we're going to put a whole lot of work into it. And, it should be a great week. But with all that being said, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And P, I just want to give like some really quick opening thoughts. In the video yesterday, we started off with Rusty Manziel, who was like an insider for UGA on one of their sites. And he was saying that, man, Tennessee needs to be careful versus ETSU because they might be kind of sleepwalking. It might be a game for longer than some people think. Well, the opposite actually happened, right? Tennessee comes out, takes care of business. We win 72-17. Georgia's struggling with Austin P. I think that they end up winning like 29-6. They had their starters in deep into the fourth quarter. So I just want to kind of like set the stage from that standpoint. But P, what are your like opening thoughts for this Georgia weekend? What have you seen versus Georgia?
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that literally Rusty, who's a huge Georgia guy, says that about us, and literally the exact thing happens to his team. We're freaking done in the first quarter. You guys are in a barn burner. You guys are got to make a goal line stand in the fourth quarter against a bad Austin P team. So, I mean, listen, this is a Georgia team, obviously uber talented. They got a lot of playmakers on that team. There's issues at quarterback. There's issues up front on offensive line. So this is a team, we'll see if they can somehow flip the switch, but we know this is a team typically, they start the season pretty slow. Takes a while to get ramped up and get going. So we'll see if we can take advantage of that here coming up this week.
Yeah, and I'm on the same page with you. I definitely think that they have some issues. Kirby might be trying to do some Jedi mind tricks with his team. I know people are going to say Kirby's out for blood. Like they always say that. I mean, you could look at it either way. This is the first time that I can think of, P, that Tennessee's actually favored with the ESPN game tracker or whatever it's called. But they're saying that Tennessee has a 51.5% chance to beat Georgia. I would look at that as some, I'd tell my team, hey, they're going to say that at home, y'all are only favored by 51.5%. That's just barely. It should be a lot higher than that. I don't care what happened last year. This isn't last year. This is this year. We've seen both of these teams up to this point. Tennessee's looked a lot better. And I honestly think, P, that Tennessee is the better team. And I'm not even going to overhype this game too much. Of course, we hate Georgia, but I want for y'all to know something. We come out there, play our game. This is one that Tennessee should win. So let's talk about what we saw from the game yesterday, Pete. And I'm going to let you start it off.
Yeah, man, I'm really proud of the team. Came out and handled business, man. Hopped on those guys early. We were good on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively as well. Seemed like the guys were locked in. We didn't sleepwalk like some people thought we might do coming into this game. I think Joey Aguilar looked good. I mean, I think overall this team is. I mean, they're a good team. You turn the film on, you watch all 11 positions. You got 11 guys that are doing their job. They're playing hard. They're executing it. We're a clean team. I think we heard the announcers say that. They're like, man, this is just such a smooth operation. They said during the game. I mean, yeah, everything we do is so smooth. This team is very well coached, very well prepared. So hopefully this can carry over. I want to see how it translates to better competition. We won't know till this week, but so far, man, this team's look really impressive through 2 weeks.
Yeah, and something else that I'll definitely point out is that Syracuse kind of struggled versus UConn, but I think UConn is a pretty good team. We know that their passing offense, so I'm talking about Syracuse. Their passing offense last year was number 1 in the country. It's going to be back up there. They threw for over 400 yards in that game. They threw for a lot of yards in our game too. So that's not, hey, Tennessee's not, we didn't play up against as bad of teams as Georgia has because really ETSU probably would have beat the brakes off of Austin P. And then Marshall just lost yesterday, P, to, who was that? Like East Montana State or something?
Yeah, so I thought it was Montana, but Casey was like, no, that's actually Missouri State. So
that's a horrible team.
I mean, that's a bad ball club there.
And Georgia was kind of struggling with them too. I think it might have been 14-0 or 14-7 in the second quarter, deep into the second quarter. So yeah, I mean, Tennessee's played up against better competition. We should be more tested, but like you said, things change up whenever it's a real game, which is what this is going to be for sure. So all of my thoughts is just going to be with the underclassmen. So like with the freshmen, Number one, and I have 7 of these, but number one is going to be that both of the Jadens playing at linebacker, it's a totally different level. There were some plays where I saw them getting into their run fit, so moving up like to the football, and then dropping back to depth in zone coverage and being on time with it. They move a lot better than any of our linebackers. Jordan Burns didn't get to play too much, but he looks good playing out in space too. So it'll be interesting to see how many of those guys will get to go versus Georgia, because I think that the guys who can play out in space is what you want in this game. But those two players, just talking about those Jadens and then I guess also Jordan Burns, they look ready from that standpoint. Number two is that GMAC is a baller. Okay, he looked really good. Didn't have to do a whole lot or didn't get to do a whole lot, but the little things that he did, you can just tell. He looks the part for sure. Number three is that Sidney Walton playing at safety. He flashed. I saw him coming downhill hard, so on and so forth. Number four, the young offensive line, to me, I can tell that they're getting better. They look good. And I think that Cade Agumuro, I put inside of my notes that he's a steal, but just because he was a 3-star coming out of high school, but our grade for him coming out of high school was higher than 3-star. I think he's going to pick up where Wendell Moy leaves off at once he does leave. He looks very similar with a lot of his movements, with his strength at the point of contact, and all of that type of stuff. Number five, and he's also playing at left guard. Number five is that the young running backs, I think they ran very well. I think that they blocked pretty well for the most part. Number six, the young wide receivers are ridiculous. Ra Jackson, he had just a few really nice catches, and he's running through contact. Travis Smith, he's a big guy. He can run through contact. He's a dog. And then I think that Dotson, he might have had a long catch from Jake Merklinger, but listen, that class of wide receivers is going to be special. And then last thing is that Charles House did get a sack on like a stunt, so he plays defensive tackle for us. I don't know, P, if he's necessarily going to be ready to play versus Georgia, but at some point this year, I could definitely see him kind of helping us out. So just wanted to kind of go over that really, really quickly, and we can jump us out of the film room. But P, do you have any extra thoughts that you just wanted to add on real quick?
I mean, I think pretty much said it. I'm excited to see Brame. I want to see if the Titans get more involved this week. We saw Brame, we saw a little bit of Jack as well. So I want to see if we utilize them more this week on some vertical things down the field. We saw Kitzman get involved a little bit in this game. I think that could be a really, really important piece, especially when we break down the film. Georgia, their backers did not look very good the past couple of weeks, so I think we can attack those guys in the pass game.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all. I think the number three is who we want to try to target. We need to try to get him isolated with anybody at all. He can't cover. Okay, he cannot cover at all. So he would be the guy. Now, we said that last year. What's his name? Like CJ Allen.
I think so. Yeah.
Overrated. He's not that good. All right, so let's go ahead and start this film. Like I said, we're gonna go through every play from the first quarter. No special teams. Y'all can see the down and distance on this on the scoreboard copy. We're gonna go wide copy and also end zone copy. So this is the first play with our offense. Of course, we got the football first, so we spread things out. This is 12 personnel, bringing in tight. We're running the football. That looks like that's just zone blocking P with some inserts, but beautiful job, I think, of Bishop running through tackles, making things happen. And this is how it should look, from my standpoint, on the opening play of a game versus a team that we're much better than.
Yeah, nothing really to add, man. Just great run by Deshaun, great blocking. Way not to go down. Don't tackle yourself. Make the other team tackle you. So great job by Deshaun there.
Yeah, so this is some power, right? So we're gonna have Sham pulling. On this one, looks like we've got max protection, right? So we've got a lot of people in there blocking. It's just two people going out on routes, and it's these deep comebacks. So it's cover 3 for ETSU. That just means they're playing off coverage. It's deep comebacks on both sides, and we go right here to Mike Matthews. But Pete, anything that you wanted to add to this?
And just nice clean pocket. That's a long throw too by Joey. Got it out there, and love Mike Matthews finishing the run right there. So, like I said, man, really well scripted play here. Just gash run game. Let's go play action, max protect with a loaded box, and then make an easy access go to the outside for a quick 10-15-yard game. So, great job by Hyper and Halsey right here.
Yeah, so one of my other things, too, P, is that we go max protection here. We don't need to. Watch how good these tackles are. Jesse Perry's looked great playing at right tackle. He just takes care of his man, so we'll go ahead and go through that one. Boom. I mean, stonewalls him. Obviously, this is ETSU, but also watch this. I think that Lance Herders really put a lot of work in the offense instantly. I mean, there's no pushback. These guys here, I mean, all these guys, this is gorgeous, but it is big that Tennessee doesn't have to max protect in some of those situations. I think that we'll be fine versus Georgia, and I think versus anybody. Maybe some teams will have some pretty good pass rush, but we got some real guys up front, which is where everything starts off at. So here, this is an RPO, right? So RPO, we throw it out to the flats here. And that is Braylon Staley, who's going to get in. And P, what you think about this block here from Ethan Davis?
I didn't think it was a hold. I mean, maybe it was, but I thought it was a good clean block.
I would call that a hold. And it's something that I saw in the first game too. He's got to keep his hands, like he puts his hands around people. He's got to stop doing that.
Mhm.
You know, there's no need for you to be 6'5", 250 pounds, blocking a cornerback, and you need to put your hands outside of his body. You should be able to move him, especially a guy from ETSU. Should be able to move him and block him and pancake him very easily with perfect technique, perfect fundamentals. Now, I'm not picking on Ethan Davis, whatever I'm saying that. I just want for that to be heard because it's something that we have to watch out for moving forward. But P, one of the things that I love about it with Ethan Davis is he started to, started off in that first game, right? And, you know, he was a little bit hesitant on just like a couple of plays. What is this, 1st and 12 or something? Or let me see. Yep, 1st and 12. Okay. So we got the tight end in there. I think that this is 11 personnel. And you can see that this is a situation where this is an RPO 2P. So what I'm noticing is that we've got the overhanging guy. And actually, ETSU, they ran some like mid front, which is what Georgia runs. But the overhanging guy who's just kind of like splitting the difference between this slot player and the like line of scrimmage, you know, he kind of comes down. But we also have maybe like a safety blitz or cornerback blitz. This is a situation where if it was green, like if there was a green light for us to actually throw it here, which it should have been because it looks like a run pass option, this is 6 points. We've got one blocker with one guy running. We should be able to score here. So do you have any thoughts on that, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. You have to try to predetermine what you're going to do before the snap. Like, you can have an idea, but you still got to read it and see how it unfolds. And I think this maybe, if it was truly an RPO, which looks like it was, I think Joey probably just predetermined what he was going to do. Didn't actually read it because he had a guy. Maybe because it was a little glance route on the backside too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, so there was definitely some things down the field. I'm not mad because Tennessee does have a really strong running game. So I mean, you know, that's a pretty good option. But on this one, the numbers weren't right. You know what I'm saying? So what they've got here, what's that? 6 inside of the box, okay, and we've got 6 blockers, okay, plus the quarterback's legs possibly. But then they bring 2 more from the outside, so that's not favorable numbers for us. And that's something that Tennessee's got to be careful with because we saw it last year versus Arkansas where they show, hey, this box is lighter than what it actually is. We're bringing people late. That can mess with our running game, and that's what RPOs are for. So here we're going to motion to empty, dump it off to the running back out of the backfield. So we have a safety that's unblocked. I don't like the way that this is blocked. Why not let the wide guy come down and block that first? Maybe they're saying, hey, you know, if he comes down too quick, then we think, well, we're going to act like we're blocking next time, and then we're going to throw it over your head. But, you know, that's just kind of like a small thing, Pete. Okay, once you start to drop it, you need to put the gloves back on. I don't think his hands are good enough for him to not wear gloves. So we need to talk about that. You know, that's something the coach staff needs to talk about. So this here, they're showing 0. And, you know, this is, what is this, P? Is this cover 3 that they're actually running here? Or no, this is some type of cover 2 that they're running. Yeah, so this is cover 2 that they're running here. And then, you know, we've got a guy that's going to kind of occupy the middle here, which is a weak spot in cover 2, which slows this safety down. And then we've got a guy that comes open in one of the other holes. So cover 2, there's a hole here, there's a hole here, and same thing on the opposite side. And then maybe there's some holes like underneath based off the route combinations. But either way, pocket's really clean. Good job by Joey of finding a guy here. And actually, this is deep choice, right? So Tennessee runs choice routes. This is deep choice. And we got that cover 2 look, which is why we ran the routes that we ran. You know, we talked about this before. The Tennessee, within our choice routes, we're really only reading one half of the field. If it's ever a full field read, it just means we come up to the line of scrimmage, pre-snap, and we pick a side. This is the side that Joey Aguilar picks. Now, what I love about Joey, what I've seen with our other quarterbacks too, I know that we've worked on this. Once we go to this end zone copy, y'all are going to see it. So watch this. Watch Joey's eyes on this, okay? Watch his eyes on this. All right. So football snap, he's going to look over to his left first. He's not even reading that. He's just looking over there. Okay. He's just looking things off. And I love that. Okay. So that's beautiful. But, you know, again, pocket is very, very clean. P, what do you want to add to this?
I mean, nothing really to add. I just like when quarterbacks can manipulate the defense with their eyes. And, you know, heck, the better you can do that, the easier you're going to make it on yourself as a quarterback and on your receiver. So kudos to Joey right here.
Yeah, so I want to point something out on this stunt here. So this linebacker or whatever, he's going to whip all the way around. But watch Jesse Perry here playing at left tackle. Watch the way that he handles this. push my guy inside, pass it off beautifully, and then I move over just easily. Didn't see our offensive linemen doing it that well last year. Okay, it just did not look like that. You can also look at Lance Hurd playing at the other tackle. Look at what he's doing, right? I mean, that's just easy work. So loving that. And P, I'm actually on this next play. I'm gonna let you start it off with the breakdown.
All right. So we got here. What's this? Oh, kickoff.
Yeah. So, wait a second. Yeah. So this one shouldn't have even been in here. So that's on me. Let me skip that one. We're gonna skip that and move on to this one. Here we go. So this is the 1st and 10, P.
1st and 10, we're on defense here. I like that we're adjusting. I know some of the teams I've been watching film, they're like, when teams motion, they're not even adjusting. They're outnumbered. So right here, man, we get Josh Josephs in man coverage. He's playing off the ball here down at the bottom of the screen, covering this wheel route. And I mean, he does a pretty good job. He's on top of his route. You can tell he's that guy that's used to getting coverage because there is a lot of space between him and his receiver. I think a better quarterback, a better team, they're going to complete that pass, pick up some yards. But the main thing to look at, he doesn't let the guy just run right by him. So you'll live with that line up. You play it again. But I think overall, man, coverage is tight. Not sure who we had up front there. Getting a little bit of pressure from up top there. Who was that coming in up top? I can't even tell.
We'll flip it around.
That's Tyree West. I mean, hey, love seeing him in the starting lineup. I think he's a guy that's going to make some noise for us. But I think defense played well. Weren't really challenged much by this team, but I think defense should be really good if we can control the interior against Georgia.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm looking at, this is a blitz from our nickel player there. So he does a pretty good job of maintaining outside, which is going to be big for us next week, right? With the mobile quarterback, he moves his body, gets back to the outside, and still not really getting pressure, but still has a chance to maybe get some pressure. Like you said, where is Tyree West at? So Tyree West is on the other side here, right? So this is Tyree West. That's J-Mac who I was talking about. Something else just really, really quickly, and I don't want to break this down too much, but linebackers seeing their movement, you know what I mean? Maybe had a guy that was open underneath, but the secondary, I think, looked really, really good, and it's better for players to be open underneath. But P, this is a 2nd and 10. What do you see?
Yep, 2nd and 10. To try to spread us out here. Looks like we're in cover 0 here. And I mean, just got bodies on bodies. You see they try to throw a quick screen out here. I can't really tell. It's tough for me to tell who this is down bottom. I think this is Ty Redmond down bottom here.
I think that's Colton Hood.
Oh, Colton Hood, yeah. Sorry. I have a small view of it. But I mean, this is just good. Good fundamental football, man. We're fast. We get into it. We get our hands up here. Joshua Joseph looks like. Yeah. This is an easy play right here for us.
This is one that I think that Coach Banks knew what this play was, but something else that I love is right here. I don't know. I think this might be a safety, but watch him on this because we talked about it with Georgia on these types of quick screens that they'll fake it with this blocker here, and then they'll go up the field. But watch what this guy does. Stand on top of it. Okay, stays on top. I'm not falling for that. I'm going to trust my guy to get downhill and to beat his block. I'm going to stay on top so that y'all can't fool us, y'all can't trick us. Say it again from this end zone copy. Right? Yeah. Fast forward, you see everyone's moving around. So we go unblocked here. Okay, beautiful job, P, like you said, by Joshua Josephs getting his hand up. Then you've got AC, you got to stay on your feet, son. But AC, he's also coming off the edge. So good job, I think, by Coach Banks is kind of like dialing something up. This is 3rd and 10, P.
Yeah. And I can promise you that double move, that pump and go is coming. We'll play Georgia this week. I can promise you that. Let's see, it looks like here. It looks like showing maybe 3 high, cover 3. Oh, yeah, so they caught us off guard here. Go a little, act like they're trying to change the play. Look to the sideline and snap it, caught us off guard. So he had Colton Hood down bottom here for a touchdown, or Colton Hood guy, have him down bottom here, but he ends up going to the slot, which the coverage is still pretty sticky there, even though he was off guard. It's going to make a play on the ball there. But a really good job here by Farouk. If you watch Farouk, he's off guard, but he immediately goes and gets depth, works the middle of the field, and he's able to essentially save a touchdown here. So really good job by Farouk there down at the bottom.
And also, I think that Tyler Redmond, same thing, right? Like, hey, and maybe we don't know what the call is. When in doubt, if you're playing in the secondary, play something deep. You know what I'm saying? Play something deep. Just do not get beat deep. And we have to do a much better job of getting those plays in. You know what I'm saying? Because Georgia will run some tempo. I'm not, overly concerned about it, but I've seen that for the past couple of weeks that Tennessee hasn't been ready in some of these tempo plays. But this is a great tackle too. Who is that? Is that turn time? Or is that Ed? We'll fast forward here. Okay, so we got a blitz here from JT. We got AC coming off of the. Is that AC? Yep, coming off of the edge too. So let me see who this is who makes this tackle. And I'm gonna go on ahead and tell y'all right now, just me personally, I think that our secondary looks really good. But I kind of want to see Boo Carter get back into the starting lineup because I think that it would be even better. If there is maybe not even a weakness, but if there is one person that their coverage isn't as great, I think it's J Mac. Not to say that he's bad, it's tough playing in coverage inside of that slot, P. All right, y'all. So we just lost P, but we'll have to keep on moving. This is a 3rd and 15, and we are still on defense. Let me actually take y'all back up to this wide copy here, and y'all can see they got a little bit of pre-snap movement. My biggest thing about this team is can we play out in space well and can we get some pressure? That's going to be huge versus Georgia. Our edge rushers should be able to wreak some havoc, which is what they're doing here. And you can see down the field, everything is covered up, looking good. This looks like, I'm not sure what this coverage is. I wish the P was here because sometimes he's better at seeing these coverages. Looks like it could be cover 6, so cover 4 up top, cover 2 down bottom, maybe something like that. But let's keep it moving, right? So the motion comes inside. I think that this is 11 personnel, and this is actually, this is just like a draw, right? So this is a draw, and good job by looks like Bryson Eason of getting through here. Beautiful, beautiful work. And I think that we'll be fine, right? So you see Dom Bailey playing on this side here. This is Dom looking good. So both of our tackles, they had some success in this game. Can we rep? It will be off if they're playing quarters coverage. Now, I like this one. So we're bunched up tight here with the tight end right there. We've got wide receiver. So this is basically just 3 verts, okay? So we're kind of spacing things out. And there's actually some, pretty good, not necessarily reading here. It's kind of like built into it, right? Like you just see, hey, who pops open? Like you've got your keys that you're reading. But great job, I think, by Joey Aguilar of finding the tight end. And then look, man, this is wide open too. You know what I'm saying? So we can always dump it off. We had the check down options. This would have been open too. But listen, you can't throw it to all the open people. This was the right. Fast forward. Tennessee's changing the play. Yep, so they're really only bringing 6. We don't have enough bodies to be able to pick this up. So that's just a flaw in whatever this play was. I'm not sure why we switched to this play, and I don't even know. Let's go back. Was this an RPO? Let's see. Of course, we got those wide splits down at the bottom. Okay. So I think that we would have had the option to maybe sling this outside. Maybe. Don't absolutely, I don't hate trying to hand it off because even if you were to try to throw it here, it might have been a dangerous pass. Like you're seeing that there's someone kind of coming in clean. He goes at the running back just because the running back takes the football. But I also think that maybe Joey could have, maybe used his legs and gotten out here some and then thrown it. I'm asking a lot on that play. It's just sometimes the defense draws a better play up than what the offense called. That's going to happen. So 1st and 10 for ETSU. We're back on defense. All right. Still pretty early on in the first quarter, but I would say as far as the number of plays that we're going through, we're probably about halfway done. So on this play, right, this is an outside zone, kind of a stretch. Yeah, this is a stretch play. So really good job. I think that might be Caleb Herring. Really good job, if that is Caleb, of setting a good, strong edge. So boom, I'm talking about this guy right here playing at Leo. You're seeing that he's widening out. But we talked about this last week. He's got to do a better job of setting a good, strong edge. Does it here. Disengages, kind of gets held some. And you see that the plays get blown up whenever you play it right. It's just about being disciplined and doing the right things. Now, I might have only shared that with the members on Patreon. If y'all want to see more breakdowns just like this, or maybe like the rest of this game, we might not do the rest of this game, but we will do more from this game. Y'all can join us at patreon.com/Bluechip Breakdown, or y'all can be members on YouTube by clicking on the join button just below this video. But I'd also love that the safety's here. So boom, I think that this is Edris Farouk, comes down quickly. So at this point, he's a box player, almost playing like a linebacker. It looks like a linebacker playing it. Everyone else is kind of scraping over well. Now, up front, kind of a little bit of pushback. So I think that this is Campbell who's kind of getting pushed back some. He's got to be able to hold stronger there, right? This is a stretch play, but he's got to hold stronger closer to the line of scrimmage, and he can't be getting pushed back. And actually, that was Ethan Utley. So sorry to Campbell. That was Ethan Utley, who I do think might need to gain some more weight. Let me also show you this. Nathan Robinson on this play, he's going to be engaged with this guard. The backside tackle tries to cut him, which is that's a chop block. That's a 15-yard penalty because you can really hurt somebody from that. I don't know if they called it on this play, but watch the way that Nathan Robinson just steps right over while he's still working on that guard. That's a beautiful, beautiful job. So love seeing things like that. All right, let's go on because we still got plenty more. So 2nd and 15 on this play. All right. So we got pistol here. They're going to motion the guy out, kind of spread things out, okay? And what they're doing here is they are kind of like overloading this zone, which kind of, I mean, let me see. What is Tennessee even playing here? Let me see what this coverage is. Looks like this is man. So this is man, and they tried to overload the zone. Or actually, you know what? I think that this is actually cover 3, but it looks like man. Actually, we picked this up beautifully. Yeah, this is cover 3, but we play it so well, y'all, that it looks like man. So watch this, okay? Number 1, right? We've got this guy right here. He's playing curl to flats. He's going to work through this guy that's kind of picking him off. Gets to the flats here. Okay, latches onto him. He's not really latching on, but he's in a great spot so that he can't come up the field on like a wheel or on like a rail route. Beautiful job. And then here, watch Jeremiah Telander. Watch what he does here. Bites up. Okay, run. Nope. Let me get back to my depth. Like pretty much without even looking. He's going to get to his depth, cut that route off. And it was beautiful the way that, who is this here? Who is this playing at safety? I think that might be Idris Farouk. Does a great job. Okay, comes up. He's playing in his zone, which is this curl area or this hook area. So he's playing his spot and then kind of passes it off, right? And they get to the spots in syncing on time. Obviously, up top, we had that covered up with this deep third there, deep third there. That's covered up. Down here, kind of like same thing, playing a hook or a curl to flat. Got that covered up. But watch as the route combinations unfold here on this dig, which they're going to a soft spot in Tennessee zone because we've got one player here playing deep, and we've got a guy that's playing here. So for a brief second, they're going to kind of pop open, but watch the way that we use our eyes, don't cover grass, and get to depth so that we can play that well. That's going to be huge versus Georgia. We like to run cover 3 versus those guys because typically you can take away the middle of the field. Georgia, in previous seasons, they were really utilizing the middle of the field. I haven't seen them do it as much this year. They don't look as good doing it. If it is middle, it's more like underneath middle and not as much down the field middle. So that could be for a whole host of different reasons. But yeah, I also think that we did a pretty decent job of getting some pressure here. So this is Marion Dye, I think, playing on this end. Is this Marion? Yeah, so that's Marion Dye. And you can see him flashing a lot in this game. He's only going to get better, okay? At some point this season, that light's going to turn on for him. He's going to start getting a ton of pressure from the strong side defensive end spot, right? So everything looked pretty good there. We have Caleb Herring, who's going to kind of like crash in from the Leo. Boom, come inside. Got to get him to find some moves or something like that, or maybe use just a little bit more speed, use some different angles, come down flatter to get some more pressure, especially on 3-step drops. But we'll go on to the next play. I don't want to break it down too much for y'all. So this is a 3rd and 13. They still have us spread out. This is an empty set, which means they have no running backs playing in the backfield. All right, so here, what's the coverage? Looks like this is man. So this is cover 1 is what it looks like. So we've got one safety playing high. We've got a guy playing like a middle zone here, linebacker playing there. So everything looks good. This is really tight coverage down the field, and then beautiful job by Colton Hood of making a great play on this football. So we've shown since the season started that down the field on vertical routes, it's going to be tough for you to hit on those passes because we have cornerbacks that are so long. You're also seeing here, who are these guys? I think that this is Caleb Herring coming off the edge. And I want to say that this is should be Marion Dye. Yeah, so those two guys coming off the edge, but you're seeing there, again, flashing, right? Flashing, getting up the field. I think that we can win versus Georgia's tackles. I think that we can definitely do that. But beautiful play on the football down the field. Beautiful, beautiful work. Just playing all the way through and maybe getting the football out late. So next play, we have a 4th and 13. I think that this is a point, so we don't even need to watch this one yet. So we're not going to look at the points. We're not going to look at the special teams. We're just going to move on. So this is a 1st and 10. Boom. All right. So Tennessee looks like this is 12 personnel. We got 2 wide receivers up top. So 3-by-1. This is an RPO. And we're going to throw it out to the flats right there and throw it out to the flat area. Love that the football is getting there quickly, and it's just like a one-on-one situation with the guy that's playing off coverage. That should be there a lot of times with the way that we lined up. So good job there. Not a whole lot for us to break down. Let's go on to this end zone copy so y'all can just see how this looks. Again, there's really not a lot for us to break down, but good job with the blocking. Obviously, if we wanted to run it, that was there too. You know what I'm saying? So 2nd and 2 on this play. All right, so we got things bunched up, and now we got, what is this? Yeah, so this is actually counter. I think that this is in RPO as well. We could throw it down here to the flats, and that sometimes that's going to be there, okay? So things look pretty good here. That's a good job. I think that Star Thomas, man, he looks really good running that route, don't he? We'll take a look from this end zone copy. The blocking was really good as well. So pulling over, boom, boom. You see Ethan Davis sticking his neck in there. Okay, so again, counter. Good job kind of getting in people's way. Really nice job. Oh my gosh, who is this? So this is Lance Hurd playing the right tackle. Watch what he does. This crashes down. Boom. Murdering folks. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Well, also great job by Star Thomas running the rock. Beautiful, beautiful job, just like reading his blocks and showing a whole lot of patience. There, good job falling forward. Let's see it from the end zone copy. That'll be easier. All right, so this is a situation where, yeah, so this is on Miles Kitselman. So right here, he doesn't do a really good job, or he doesn't do a very good job. So boom, he's trying to like work up, but you have to use a little bit of common sense. If there's no one there, you're gonna have to, hey, if someone's coming backside, you also can't let them get through. So you know, he does that, and that also could have been a hold. So we got to tighten up just some small things. It's not a huge deal, not a huge deal at all. All right, so let's go on to the next one. So this is the 2nd and 2. Obviously, Tennessee's up by 10. Just hey man, we're just gonna hand this thing off. This looks like this is another power play, or is this counter? Let's see. Yep. So that's some more power, kind of like pin pull. You know what I mean? Block down from this side, block down, guys pulling around, boom, boom, lead blockers, hit it up in there. Beautiful job. Just a great wall that we set up. Good job right there. That as Tennessee fans, y'all need to be excited about. 1st and 15 for ETSU. All right, and we are getting close. We only got a few more plays, y'all, and then we're gonna get y'all on up out of here. So on this one, right? What do we have? Okay, so they're running the football here. Down the field, looks like we were probably playing cover 3. Okay. Yep, so this is pistol, and they're trying to run power here. And there's some pre-snap movement, misdirection. Who's this coming off of the edge? This is Jordan Ross. He looks really good coming off of the edge. Setting the edge, just looks effortless doing it. And then backside, I think that this is Big Bryson Eason. So that's Big Bryson Eason, getting him a piece of that action too. You're also seeing some good violence by, I think that this is Don Bailey here, showing some good violence, playing with violence. Linebackers getting downhill. That's Edwin Spillman looking good. And then this is Arion Carter. We can't be getting held here, right? That's Big Charlie Browder, who played for Tennessee last year. I think he's really good. We cannot let him hold us, AC. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, everything looks good here. Safety's getting into their run fits. Beautiful, beautiful job, right? Just kind of like walking y'all through some of the stuff. Beautiful job. 2nd and 15. All right. 2nd and 15. We got 3-by-1, short up top. So they just try to go down the field. So this is Tyler Redmond in coverage down the field. This is cover 1, I believe, or this might be cover 3. Hard to tell, but pretty much down here where this turns into man. So for Tyler Redmond, this is turning into man. This probably also would turn into man. But up here, I'm seeing some zone. So maybe it could be 1, but it looks a little bit more like 3 to me. Not quite sure, but excellent, excellent coverage. Just beautiful job. And what I love is that he doesn't panic at the top of the routes. I don't think really any of our guys are panicking, man. Our cornerbacks are very, very well coached, very talented too. A whole lot of length, like I said earlier. But great job of not panicking right there at the end. Let me show y'all again from this end zone copy. All right, so we'll skip. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what type of pressure are we getting right here. So, man, Bryson Eason, his suddenness off the football. Gorgeous, and he's going up against the guy next weekend or this upcoming weekend. Going to be very similar from a talent standpoint as this center here. So I think that he can wreak havoc if he's lined up as a nose. I think that we want him maybe line up as a nose. If we could get some like isolation, man, like maybe run some more of the mid front. I think that would be deadly because we got guys who can win versus their center coming up this weekend versus Georgia. But pretty good job though, right? So pretty decent pressure. This is a 3-step drop basically. And they just want to get the football out quick. So go on to the next one. This is a 3rd and 15. All right, 3rd and 15. Okay, so we got trips down bottom, and then you got 2 potential passing threats up top. Okay, so here, I'm not sure what this coverage is. This could be quarters coverage, which just means that you're going to have 4 guys playing deep, but up top, it turns into man because there's really only 1 threat there outside of that running back. So I'm not quite sure what the rules and principles are for this play or what the coverage actually is. Cover 4 or maybe some type of a cover 3, makeshift cover 3. But here, this is a really good route combination. So what they're going to do is they're going to run this kind of like wheel route from this guy here. So this would be Boo Carter, who he's got kind of like curl to flat sort of a situation here. But I actually think that in this situation, he might have to carry this up the field, or he passes it off to this cornerback or safety based off of what the coverage is. If it's cover 4, then this guy coming up the field will be his guy, right? But they can overload this. But we see that this guy comes inside. So if he's coming inside, if it's cover 4, now that's Boo Carter's player. And this player right here, this will be Boo's. And then this guy would be for the corner. So either way, we see that the football's coming out in zone. Your eyes are on the quarterback. So once the quarterback gets into that throwing motion, you're breaking on who he's throwing it to. And that's just that's a pretty tight window for him to fit the football into. But sometimes that's just going to happen. That's just part of playing zone. So we can see it better from this end zone copy. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Good job there. You know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot of, well, shoot, actually, who is this coming off the edge? So this is Jordan Ross that's wreaking havoc quickly. And on the other side, I think that might be Tyree West. That's two guys that I think are really good pass rushers. I want to see them on the field as much as possible in pass rushing situations. But yeah, pretty solid job by Tennessee's defense. So now we have a 1st and 10 for Tennessee's offense, okay? We got 2 up top. Got the tight ends down bottom. So this is like a sail combination. So you're going to see us run the sail, and then there's levels, obviously. But what I love is that we have the levels. We have the options. We're kind of like overloading one half of the field, but you got the options pretty much everywhere. So these two were the most open. I love that we're throwing it down the field as soon as that opening's there. Do better than that. All right, so now Tennessee's on defense. Got them backed up. Okay, pre-snap movement. All right, so everything's pretty much covered up. We bring the pressure from the outside. Love that. Make them have to get the football out of their hands quickly. Hey, figure something out quick. We're not going to give you all day back here. Love that. Okay, I think, is this a safety blitz or this is a star blitz? Pretty good job by Boo, right? Would like to see him stay on his feet and obviously be able to make more of a play there. But it's really, like you're blitzing guys because you want them to be able to get sacks, but sometimes you're blitzing them, like I just said, to get the football out of their hands quickly. Make them have to dump it off, then we come up and make a tackle. You just kind of like force their hand with that. So I think that we executed on that portion of a good job coming up and tackling. All right. So second and so this is actually 2nd and 4, y'all. Okay. 2nd and 4. What's the coverage? So we're blitzing again there. This looks like this is cover. I don't know what coverage this is. I guess this will be like cover 1. Okay. And we're bringing some extra pressure. That's a really good job, actually, by Boo Carter making this tackle. So watch it again from this end zone copy. You're going to see Boo. He's playing right here. We talked about this earlier. Once the safeties or star players come down to the box like this, their rules are very similar to like a linebacker's rules. So they have to play that way. You're going to see an offensive lineman come out and try to block Boo. I think it might be the center, or is it the guard? Yeah, so the guard comes out to try to block him. He just kind of, makes him pause. He says, well, I'm a much better athlete than you. Let me show you some juke moves. Pause you. My hands come up. Your hands come up. I'm already pushing you off, and I'm making a very good open field tackle. So at the star position, I think that we're good. I think that our secondary is very, very good. So this is a 3rd and 4. All right. And it will just flip sometimes at the last second. But this is 3rd and 4. So they got us tight down bottom, pre-snap movement. Now we got 2 by 2. You got the running back up top as well. And this is cover 2 that we're playing. I love us playing cover 2. Really like cover 2. It's tough. I think that our team is set up well. This is actually Tampa 2 as well. So you can see that this middle linebacker, he's coming deep. So Tampa 2, that's something that obviously the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made famous. They won the Super Bowl with it. But it's almost like a cover 3. But it can be tough if you don't know how to, especially in these types of situations. And I think that we will run that versus Georgia. We ran a good amount of it last year. I also think that this is pretty funny. So we've got Big Wallace right here. We've got Don Bailey right there. And this is Joshua Josephs. Who is this here? So this is Marion Dodd. So you're seeing he pushes him over and he says, now we got to come back. But watch Joshua Josephs win one-on-one. I want to see a lot of that this weekend, man. I think that Joshua Josephs, who's got some guns on him now. I mean, he's got some big old arms. You can tell he's been putting in that work. Looks really good, but we're still getting pressure from the strong side with Marion Dow, who's still just trying to piece things together. Once that light turns on, like we said earlier, it's going to be a major, major problem. And then, Dom, he's, winning his one-on-one battle there. You got to stay on your feet and keep on pushing. But, or actually, I'm sorry, that's not Don Bailey. That's actually Bryson Eason. So, I think Tennessee's D tackles are going to be a problem. All right, so this is the 4th and 12, so that's a punting situation. And we just have a few more, y'all, that we're going to go through, and then we're going to be done. So get back to this end zone copy. So we're getting the football right here on the 5-yard line. This is the 1st and 5. We're back to that kind of like heavy set and 12 personnel running power. You know, a pin pull, what this is looking like. Pin pull, kind of, you know. Kind of, you know. So I don't know if that wasn't blocked very well. We didn't get very much movement, or if you're going to go to the outside, I'm a big fan of, hey, if you're going to the outside, go to the outside. If you're going to stretch it out, especially on these plays that are really supposed to probably be hit up more into the, not really like the middle, but more like to the C gap type of deal. Now, maybe, you know, our lead blockers could have gotten more to the outside. At least one of those guys. Looks like we got two tight ends. They don't really get to the outside as much. I can't quite call that because I'm not 100% sure on who they're supposed to be picking up, but something was definitely off on that play. All right, so this is a 3rd and 1. And we just go inside zone. Really should have scored on this, right? Really should have scored on this. We're just going inside zone. We're running right at him. I think pretty good movement, right? So there's one player that does come open. He just kind of like hides himself. That's number 10 on defense. He's kind of like hides himself. It's tough for us to get to it. Now also watch right here, I think it might be Jesse Perry. Watch Jesse Perry because he was anticipating for the linebacker to still be there, but he still has to hold up because, see, these are combo blocks. So with the combo block, he's got to kind of hold this guy at bay so that the guy on the outside who's a tight end can kind of like clean it up. But watch what he does here because he's holding it here. We'll punch this one in, right? So we're going to punch this thing in under center. Love that. Okay, run through a tackle. Not quite sure why that guy comes through clean. Let's see it again from this copy. All right, so yeah, we got to get that cleaned up. So Tim's doing a good job of sneaking in there. Can't have that moving forward. That's got to be cleaned up. You shouldn't be able to come straight through the A gap like this. All right, but you know, of course, we do get into the end zone there, and there's only just like a couple more plays, y'all. So we just got 3 more plays. So spreading this out, pre-snap movement. Still got 2x2. All right, play action. We're actually kind of open here, or they're actually kind of open here off the line of scrimmage. Got to do a better job at the line of scrimmage on this slot fade. You can't hit and miss and just come up with air, but everything else looks good. I'm not quite sure what this coverage is. It looks like it's maybe like a cover 1 buzz, like a cover 0 buzz or something like that, because we have these 2 safeties that are kind of buzzing here, something like that. There's really not much help over the top, so pretty much just man up. And this is, hey, man, like we just want to see how y'all look doing this, and we look really good doing it with the coverage. Outside of the slot, that didn't look great. I think that was J-Mac who was in coverage there. Did not look great there. He's got to get that cleaned up at the line of scrimmage. But pressure coming. So Jeremiah Thielander, he's blitzing. Arion Carter's blitzing. And it looks like Isaiah Campbell's getting held on this right side, doing a good job there, getting held, right? Would like to see him maybe maintain the outside leverage here, okay? Definitely going to need that moving forward. But, you know, it's obviously not horrible. So good job there. 2 more plays, 3rd and 5. All right, so going empty. Boom, boom. Not quite sure what this coverage is. Might be, I don't know exactly what this is. Looks like we got cover 2 or something up top. I don't know, but you know, I think that we had things covered up pretty well though. It's hard to tell exactly what we're playing. Okay, so we do a whole lot of this whenever Caleb Herring comes in, where he kind of starts off here and then comes back to the inside. It doesn't look like it's going to work as well as it did last season, because that's something that we did a lot with James Pierce. Maybe just let him come off the edge some. You know, I think that might be maybe a better option. Now, I'm not going to try to undermine what Coach Banks is doing, or Coach Garner, or Coach Chop. Just from what I've seen, it doesn't look like he's getting too much pushback or pressure or anything when we're running that stunt for him. So last one here, they're just going, okay, so going with a slant, kind of, not even a slant. I don't even know I guess kind of a slant. You know, just like an instant in, you know, this is like a now play. So they're throwing it pretty much now. But comes straight down the line of scrimmage. Great job by Tyler Redmond as a true freshman, coming down, making a good solid hit and forcing that football out. See, who got that ball out? I think that it might have been Red. You know, it might have been Red who got that thing out. But that's going to do it, y'all. Hope that y'all have a great rest of y'all Sunday. And of course, we will be back tomorrow with plenty more, just breaking down us versus Georgia. But y'all please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your thoughts down in that comment section, and we'll be talking to y'all tomorrow. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.